The break, and this segment, the Big Issue segment, is brought to you by Nice Chocolate. Nice Chocolate is a taste of Ghana. It's made with natural cocoa from Ghana, grown in Ghana by Ghanaian people. It's manufactured right here in Ghana. It comes in various flavors as well. You have the Tetra packs, you have the mini bottles, cute bottles you can keep in your pocket or in your bag, travel along with it. It's healthy, it's nutritious. You have the chocolate nuggets, comes in various flavors, ginger, there's coconut, there's strawberry, there's dark chocolate, you have chocolate spread, or you also have the sachet that you can do a quick fix for you and yours and those near and dear to you. So go out there and get some Niche chocolate and enjoy. A few messages here. Well, Deca sent something as a screenshot. It says, energy innovation by General Electric. Ghana's power crisis, provide load shedding timetable. CPA tells PURC. That's the 19th of July 2016. Said Nana Ajantua is not telling us the truth because there was load shedding. Personally, we have had to take out ballot box papers to Zongo Junction total to count after voting at Latebia Koshi Presby School. So this was in 2016 for him. And also, Kwame Agboja, MP for Adaklu. I call him Adaklu Messiah. It says, Mr. Hughes, in the past when tariffs go up, it was the fault of John Mahama. The NPP is conveniently pushing the debate to PURC. Why? President Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia can reduce the tariffs if they want to. They rather prioritize to build the cathedral for $400 million. Why should we give credit to the NPP for putting us in this excruciating hardship? The only reason the lights are on is because we have Atwabo, which is producing our own gas, and we owe local companies. If the gas was coming from Nigeria like it was in 2014, etc., Dumso would have started. Thank John Mahama for Etwabo, which is a major reason we have our own gas. That's what he said there. But Nana, we want to respond quickly to Deca or about the fact that in 2016 there was Dumso.
No, if light goes on off, it doesn't mean there is Dumso. Maybe I told you it's a localized thing. In 2016 there was no Dumso. I was in PURC. If there was Dumso, I would say it. I mean, what would I lose?
Right. But this is a headline from PURC. Says that provide load shedding timetable. CPA tells PURC. That's
When
in 2019. This was in July 2016. July 19, 2016.
No, that one I don't.
Okay, CPA is telling PURC.
PURC 2016. There was no Dumso in 2016.
Okay.
You know, when car power came in, the issue was resolved.
Okay.
Then the others also came on board. Do you get me? So, I mean, whatever it is, I've left the scene, so.
Okay.
I mean, what I know is what I'm talking about.
I hear you. Okay, let's focus on the National Cathedral now. Koko, please put up the statement from the boss at the National Cathedral Secretariat. It says, we have the contractors and their staff on site, but the work has been suspended. We are hoping that within the next couple of weeks, as part of our fundraising and other initiatives, we can begin work again. That's Dr. Paul Obuku-Mensah, is Executive Director of the National Cathedral Secretariat. But how much donations have come in so far? Let's see that slide, Koko, quickly, and then we can also be abreast. So donations so far, 2018, we got 2.6 million. 2019, we got 3.8 million, 2020, 13.8 million, and in 2021, 7.7 million, and in 2022, that's 3.6 million Ghana cedis. So far, this is how much we've been able to get from donations. That's 20, 23, 26, 28. You can add these ones. So just about $40 million, just around that figure, if you will. That's how much we have gotten in terms of donations. But the project has come to a standstill. This was.
Do we need?
Well, the questions have been asked: do we need? Do we not?
I mean, how much do we even need to build?
It has come to a standstill. We started at 100 million. That was the initial. Now we're told it's 400 million. That's how far we have gone, plus the donations and all of that. I don't know. How does government feel about this project coming to a standstill now? Helen, I'll start with you.
Government, I don't think government feels anything. I mean, the National Cathedral was a project started by government, and we did tell all Ghanaians that it was going to be partially, or the seed money was coming to come from government, and then the rest of the money was going to come from donations from the Christian community. Secretariat was set up, run by people from the Christian community, renowned pastors and all those. So they are now running the whole show. Government's involvement gradually is winning off, or has practically wind off. And government did tell Ghanaians that the seed money will provide, the land we will provide. But going forward, it's up to the Christian community to do this.
The president said he will provide land, government will provide land, but not the seed money was his money, not government money.
Whichever, it has been provided. And then the donations have started coming in. So now if the Secretariat is telling us that they've paused and that they are waiting for more donations for it to be built, I think we just have to ask the Secretariat to give those who donated an account of what the money was used for. So which level are they now? What have they done? They have to tell us. You just can't tell us you got all these donations and you have paused because you don't have money. So what did you use the money for? Did they also explain? Or have you asked them? At what level are they? Are they done with the foundation? Are they done? We have to ask all those questions. But if you ask me, how does government feel? Government started this project, handed it over to the Christian community, set up a secretariat, and they are supposed to manage it.
In 2020, government, while we were fighting COVID, government advanced monies to them without the prior approval of Parliament. I mean, that matter came up. Surprisingly, each time the Secretariat talks, when they had their 1 week celebration, they never have mentioned, anything about that. Safe to say that, well, they say that's, I heard Professor Opoku-Agyeman say, that's government's problem. They are just interested in completing the project.
Did they get the money?
But monies were advanced without the tacit approval of Parliament. That's illegal.
We have already discussed it, sorted it out. And if any Ghanaian feel it is illegal, that's why the courts are there. Let us take government to court and ask government, on which basis did you advance these monies to the National Cathedral? I am not one.
For a government that comes with what a certain fiscal discipline law of a cap of 5%, you're proving to us that you are protecting the public purse. Is this how to expend state funds?
Let me finish my statement. This issue came up. Government gave its response. Everybody else, including the media, took a dig at the government. Government said, I've given the money to the National Secretariat of the National Cathedral. It was explained how come they got the money. Whether you agree or you don't agree, I don't think this is the time for me. I would want to get into that. Now, the Secretariat is being run by competent people, and they have come to tell us that they are on break because they don't have enough money. Now, the question I want us to ask them, and I think you should have asked them, one, how much did you get? And that's what they have brought. What did you use it for? I mean, going back into the past, for me, I don't give it. What did they use it for?
The president said, I will protect the public purse.
What did they use it for? Those are the questions.
We will get to the donations. Good. I'm asking a critical question about...
Johnny, you don't ask me that question.
You're representing the government.
You don't, and I've told you that when this issue came up, all of us took a dig at government.
But that didn't solve the problem.
Those who insulted government insulted. Those who didn't have facts said what they wanted to say. We have gone past that. The money has been given.
When you say we have gone past that, what do you mean?
Has been given.
What do you mean when you say we have gone past that?
I mean we have gone past that.
That government can decide without the approval of Parliament.
Is it true
to give money?
Is it true that government even decided without the approval of government?
That's what the parliamentarians are saying.
That is what they are saying. But government came out to tell you through the Ministry of Finance that this is the reason why we give it. You have all those, so you don't ask me those questions now. What you ask me is that these monies have been given. And you say, what is government's feeling about?
I can't ask you to be accountable. Is that what you're saying?
What's government?
I can't ask you to be accountable.
Right now, you ask me, what is government feeling about the fact that the project is now at a standstill? Right. And what I'm saying, that government said, I'll give you land. I'll give you seed money. That has been given. What is the Secretariat doing? How much did they receive? They said we've received about 40 million. Right. What have they used it for? Going into the past to dig gap with the past, I don't think will solve the problem as it is. So what is their problem? Is it that they are not getting enough contributions? And then what measures are they putting in place?
I am at a loss how you want us to wish this away.
We are not wishing it away.
State funds
there are ways in
which have been applied without the tacit approval of the representatives of the people. And you want us to wish it away and say because people took a dig at government is in the past we should forget?
We are not wishing anything away. There are ways in which government accounts for state funds. We have times and periods government account for state fund. We are just in the process where the public, the Auditor General is telling us what the money, some monies that has gone to institutions have been used. So let's wait. When the time comes for government to account for the use of state funds, including the use of monies given to, what do we call it, the National Secretariat, they'll account for it. Right now, the Secretariat have come out to tell us that they put the project on suspension, and the reasons why they have put it on suspension. I'm saying that we should ask them, so the monies you received, at what level, the project, where are we now? Or are we still going on to debate? Should it have been built? It shouldn't have been built. Should money have been given? We have gone past that.
The questions you're asking, should that not be the preoccupation of the president, especially when he told us that he made a personal pledge to God that if he gives him a second term, he will build him a cathedral. If the cathedral has hit a snag, the president should be worried because it is a pledge between him and his God.
Right now, you are bothered about the president's pledges.
That's why I'm asking. Well,
you are not.
Pledges that are funded with my money.
The president, after making all those pledges and going through the process, has set up a secretariat that is working on it. The secretariat has come out to give you details of what is going on.
And used my money.
And
it's
details
part of it without my permission.
On. You have a right to ask the secretariat question. Of course, I know the president would also have issues, and he has a right to also ask them. And that will come out. Just yesterday, the secretariat just came to tell all of us what is happening. Now, you have somebody who is responsible for doing that. You haven't finished asking that person questions on what he did with the money, what he's doing with it. And now you are taking a dig at the president again.
I'm not taking a dig at the president. Good. The president makes... No, I think that you are trying to move the president away from it.
Of course. This whole... Until the secretariat, we all go through it. We go through their spending and what they have done. Because they are still using government of Ghana's money. They are using our money. And then we realize that some monies have been misused, or they didn't use the monies for what they are supposed. Then you can bring in the president and the government. But what sort of oversight responsibilities do you have? Right now, the person is still working. We haven't audited the account. We don't even know what they did with the money. And you are taking a dig at the president.
Would we have had this whole National Cathedral project if the president had not first made a promise to his God and forced it upon us to use our monies without our permission?
I said, and I'm still saying it again. Whatever be the case, we have gone past that. Our monies are already in the project. When you
say we have gone past that, I don't
He's
understand
already made the promise.
So
the project has started. So right now that you're going into the past, should we go and undo the project, or we should stop doing the project?
Is that how to protect the public purse?
That's not a matter of fact. That's not a question you should be asking me, how to protect the public purse. We vote for presidents. We vote for governments. We want them to do projects. They come with their proposals. That's in the manifesto.
Right.
And then they work on it.
This was not a manifesto.
They come with what they want to do. You do not tell the president, when he was coming and he was going to see Ghanaians to vote for him, he put out a lot of things, including those that were in the manifesto and those that were not. He has implemented them. Are we now trying to say that we want to regulate what presidents and political parties should do? We don't have that regulation. So a president comes in with his political party. They decide to do this. You might not agree with what they are doing. My point now is, they have done it. The project is is there. Are we going to leave the project because we don't agree with him?
But did we ask for a cathedral?
It's not a matter of whether you asked or you didn't. A lot of governments come and do things you didn't ask for.
Well, but this was a personal pledge.
Right now, I don't want to debate whether it was personal.
Why are you running away from that?
That is not the point of discussion now.
But why are you running away from the fact that we would not have had the cathedral if it's not a personal pledge?
Whether it was he in his capacity as president of Ghana, with his government and his cabinet, decided to do this job. They have done it. They went to Parliament with the proposal. The Parliament approved. They have started. Are we not interested in making sure that the project is finished? You are rather continuously going back into the past to find out whether he should have done it in the first place. Is there any law that stops the president from putting up projects, including cathedrals?
So the new trick is that start what is illegal, use the people's monies illegally without permission, and then tell the blackmail of people and say, we should complete it. Other than that, it's a waste of money.
Who says it's illegal?
The monies that were used, government funds, were they approved from Parliament?
Who declared it as illegal?
Any spending must be approved by Parliament.
And where is the proof that it wasn't approved by Parliament?
It was not. Have you read the Hazard? Have you read the Hazard?
Where is the proof?
Have you read the Hazard?
I don't have that proof. My point is, the president, we voted for him. He has a right, like all other governments, to start projects. He has started this one. You might not agree with him. You might not like it. There are a lot of people who don't like free SHS. He has started it. So we look into it. Are we going to let what he started go down the drain? Or we are going to finish it up by asking the people who have been put in charge of the project, what's going on?
Okay. Beatrice, the president said the cathedral is the priority of priorities. So far, the monies that have been spent to build the cathedral up to this point, including the donations and state resources, were not approved by Parliament. At least we have that proof. Ellen says we should move away from that. It's in the past, and we should be interested in completing the project. What do you say?
Why are you surprised the government spokesperson is speaking this way? Because there are challenges consistent with other, like the PULC issue. They will say they are not responsible. When the cathedral is done, they will say it was the president's pledge. Why are we surprised? But Johnny, this morning I came here with my Bible, and I want to refer you to Luke 14:28. And I'm reading from the New King James Version. That for which of you intending to build a tower or a cathedral does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough to finish it, lest after he has laid the foundation and is not able to finish, all will see to begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So if the president's covenant with God is the God of the Bible, then he ought to have received this inspiration that if you begin a house or a tower, even God says that sit down, don't be haphazard. Don't build my house, the cathedral, like you're managing the economy and you're managing the country haphazardly. But the most important part is that we are in a deep crisis if this is the kind of leaders we have in our nation. And sometimes I'm terrified and I'm worried about the future. Because whereas your predecessor had 200 million and invested it in Bridge Hospital, you have built a fish pond. Go and look at it.
You don't have the full details to call it a fish
I have
pond.
been there myself. Go and look at it. They haven't even been able to do a foundation.
That's not true.
No, they haven't. They have dugouts. They have dug holes. And now when it rains, it fills there. They haven't done a foundation.
That's not.
If you look at the plan,
that's not correct.
You can send your presenters there. In fact, on this show, we have discussed the National Cathedral, and you have even had cause to project images. We are in a deep crisis. This current government lacks vision. And for me, a house of God built on lies, corruption, illegality would not stand. So even God would not be happy and dwell or habit in the places built on lies, illegality, and all these things we are seeing.
If we decide not to continue the cathedral project, we would have wasted money anyway.
Oh, yes.
So let's complete it.
We would not have wasted money. The people who paid money without parliamentary approval will have to refund the money. Because, Johnny, ask any architect and anybody in the real estate business, whether in Ghana or abroad, in line with best practices, no architect, supervisor is paid the full cost of a building, even when you haven't gotten or you haven't finished with the foundation level. So when you come together with your cronies and you appropriate the resources of the state to the tune of $21 million and you give it to Mr. David Ajayi, who has not even done 30% of the work, and you pay him in full, this is what will happen. And so it's just consistent. They just didn't intend to build any cathedral. You don't have money to build schools. Your agenda 111, you can't even find land. You can't even build hospitals. And some way, somehow, you thought they believe that they can build the cathedral.
The president
they never set out.
It's a project of national
but if the
interest.
president can deceive God, who are we as citizens?
It's a project of national interest.
Which national interest?
Build a monument, a tourism hub,
Johnny,
get people to have a space where we can all go and worship,
Johnny,
have national events.
If you decide to visit a place with national emolument, will you go to Notre Dame, or you come to a cathedral that will be built by 2040 something? if you want to see the real artifact and the real historical antecedents of the Bible, would you go to other national cathedrals which took 100 and something years to one that our president, who is not honest, promised God?
All right.
And so I will conclude by saying that I just want to beg God as a Christian that may he not visit the sins of our leaders on us. Because sometimes I'm tempted to believe that our economic crisis and hardship is because of the sins of our leaders. Because the dishonesty, the misappropriation, and the corruption stinks.
Thank you. Anna Jantua, what do you say? The National Cathedral project, they're asking for more donations. But this is where we are now. We have sunk money into it as a country. The president promised this as his thanksgiving to God for re-election. And here we are.
Johnny, thank you very much. I mean, I agree to the fact that the president said it was a promise to God that when he makes him win the election,
a personal pledge,
he will build him a cathedral. I mean, whether a cathedral or a church, I mean, some form of dwelling for God.
Right.
I thought that maybe he would build a church for him in his hometown. Easy.
That would have been easier.
Very easy. And whoever advised him to go this route hasn't helped. When Amma was talking, he said that if the Christian community want to leave it as it is, it's up to us. I am a Christian. I'm actually a born-again Christian.
Do you feel blackmailed?
I'm saying that nobody has come to us. I am a Christian.
Nobody has come to you. I remember that they went to the heads of the churches.
It is not the heads of the churches who decide. In the churches, the congregation, they are key. If you see my head and the congregation doesn't agree, the heads of the churches get money from us to run the churches. So if you see the heads of the churches and the heads of the churches don't come to tell us, I am a Baptist. Baptist, we have a very big, a large following.
Right.
Do you get me? I'm a Baptist.
Beatrice is also a Baptist.
Yes, I'm a Baptist. Calvary Baptist Church. I'm a Baptist. I'm an usher. I'm a Sunday school teacher. I am part of the leadership. Nobody has come to say that we need your support for this thing. You pick a few leaders and you leave the congregation behind.
Do we need the cathedral?
At this time?
Yeah.
I don't think that we need a cathedral at this time, this economic situation. Because one question that I asked, what are we going to use the cathedral for? Because every Sunday, everybody goes to church. And I know Christianity, nobody will leave their church and come to the cathedral to worship. Maybe once in a while, the whole of the Christendom decides that we will meet there. But the point is that when it comes to the money issue, where is the 200 million? There was some 200 million that was given to them. Right. What happened to it? Johnny, I think that with God, at least for this one, as Beatrice said, when it is God, we should be honest. Well,
people are beginning, and I've seen people making the analogy that, well, we didn't ask for free SHS, but it came. Free SHS was in the budget. Free SHS was in the manifesto.
It was in the manifesto.
Free SHS was well agreed upon.
Yes.
And even the sources of funding, when we started Heritage Fund, ABFA, and all that. The monies that were given for the National Cathedral was not approved, and illegality cannot be endorsed.
Yes.
We must dichotomize
and this
it
is
and
God.
stop the blackmail
and you see,
that
Johnny,
we started. Let's go.
Johnny, the point is that when God wants to build a house, this is God's house. This is not a hotel. And throughout the Bible, when God wants to build a house, I'm serious. Please,
he said this is a church, not a hotel.
This is not a hotel.
Since they are the born again Christians.
Amma, please, when you are talking, nobody interrupted. Let me finish, please. I beg you. You see, the point is that this is God's church. This is God's dwelling place, not a hotel. So if you are going to build it, you have to go according to the tenets of what God wants. Okay. We are dealing with God. We are not dealing with human beings.
And it is meant, meant for the Christians. I think that we should start engaging their members, as they said, and then perhaps get it done. We cannot allow the money to go down the drain.
So why didn't you do it in the first place?
Yeah, why do you
okay. Anyway, Elena Madako is a member of the national communications team of the NPP. Nanaya Achempem Jantua is the general secretary of the Convention People's Party, and Beatrice Annan is a private legal practitioner. She's also a member of the NDC's legal and communications team. Thank you, ladies, for coming. I would only say that let's stop the blackmail of we have started, let's finish. Let's stop the confusion of that. Did we ask for free SHS and planting for food and jobs and all of that? They were in the manifestos. They were budgeted for. We agreed and had a conversation. The National Cathedral is the president's personal pledge. And that he said, if God gets him power, he will. I didn't pray for power. So if he has agreed, the 200 million that has been sunk in it must be accounted for. And I hope the Auditor General and the Special Prosecutor will take interest in this matter, because at the time when La General Hospital has been raised down, and people are asking for hospitals, children are sitting on their bellies for schools, you cannot recklessly use state funds like this, even in COVID year of 2020, and come and be blackmailing us, telling us we have started already, and that did we ask for it. I think that's so unfair. We'll see you after the break.